Welcome to episode 62 of the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. This says my name is Brian Hines. That's not true. You're Brian Hines.
I am Brian Hines.
I'm Jack Minogues. I'm the host
is.
here. You're the host here. We're both the hosts here of the OVW podcast. Now that all of the salutations are out of the way, go ahead, our third member, I guess, Tiny Brian, go ahead and say hello so everybody can know your voice as well.
I'm Tiny Brian, and this is my voice.
Thank you so much. Today, we are getting into all of the action from OVW Television 1309, emanating originally from Davis Arena on, oh my gosh, what was that? September 12th. No?
No, it was 12th because it was Friday the 13th
You're right.
the next
You're right.
day.
We're not on to the next week yet. We're not on the next week yet. You're right. Yeah, so September 12th. September 12th.
Correct.
All right. It's, we do these shows on Wednesdays, and they're so official, and we're so uptight. We're back here on Sundays. Are we live? Are we live right now?
No, we're live to hard drive.
Oh, that's...
Oh, okay. I kind of thought so, but was still going to treat it as though it was a live grenade,
So we got a lot of breathing room tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Brian Hines.
I should have lied to you guys. I really should
We
have.
got a lot of...
No, we're
late
live.
for
Go
that.
live, Malachi.
Too late.
No, we're on the internet.
So we are live here on the internet on OVW
There we go.
Podcast, wherever you find your podcasts, and we are beginning into all of the action, as I said, from OVW episode 1309. But first, we have a little bit of housekeeping, Brian Hines.
Yes, we do. We've got some tour dates to run over real quick. Let's see, where are we at? If you happen to make it to a show on the road and it's something we're not able to make it to, if you feel so inclined, take a bunch of pictures. Send them to us or tag us at OVW Podcast so everybody at home can see what we missed and we weren't able to talk about. But let's see, we've got every Thursday OVW Rise at Hot Point Davis Arena, 6:30 p.m.
Which is now so cool that it is almost cold.
Yeah.
Hot Point really, when they said air conditioning, I didn't know they meant, literally meat locker because it was almost cold in there on Thursday.
Listen, guys.
No complaints.
I'm not having another repeat of what happened on Wednesday. I'm going to get my water bottle.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You guys got it.
Yeah, okay.
Jackman will be right back.
So in the meantime, we've got Longport, Indiana on October 4th. That is a free outdoor show. We've got Riot Fest.
Oh, goodness, yes.
Is not in the notes here.
No, I am sorry.
So will we be deducting points from you?
I should definitely take negative points when I mess up notes.
Okay.
Yes, that's not a bad notion,
Okay.
Mr. Hines.
We'll have to talk this over with Jackman
yeah.
and work this out because if there's a point system involved, I feel like the playing field should be leveled.
I don't disagree.
And that's
September 22nd.
September 22nd. Okay, and that is in Chicago, Illinois.
Mm-hmm. And in partnership with the NWA.
The NWA, National Wrestling Alliance.
I'm sad we can't go to that one, but it seems like it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, I bet that's going to be a big weekend for the music acts and both promotions, and it's going to be a great way to cross things over, almost as big as how it was with rock and wrestling back in the day when the big company had their first pay-per-view with all of the music stars and all that.
Oh, yeah, when Connecticut did the Super Wrestling Fun Time show.
Yes.
Which is what I think we should always call it. Speaking of rock and wrestling.
Jackman Olavencia. I'm back.
I think that's all we're calling you from now on.
Wait, no. Jackman Olavencia.
That is all we're calling you from now on.
Okay. I feel like we're on to something.
Oh wait,
but I
are
don't
we?
feel like
We are
totally
doing
there
video,
yet.
right?
Yes. So he has to dance. Look for that on YouTube, folks.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to end up being a reel or something to that effect.
Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Thanks for letting me go get my water.
That's okay.
So as I was saying, speaking of rock and wrestling,
Yes.
we have a rock and wrestling OVW show, which I am super excited about.
At Mom's Music in Louisville,
Mom's
Kentucky.
Music in Louisville.
That is October 5th.
We will be there, as far as I know.
So there are going to be bands there?
There's at least a couple. Yeah, it's a rock show, and and a wrestling show.
All right,
We'll
so
have to do some scouting and see if we can figure out who the band is, and maybe we could talk to them for the Bluegrass Homefront, because it's just about the time in the show for the
Oh,
Bluegrass
look at him
Homefront ad.
jumping ahead. Look at him.
Yeah, you see that?
you're making me so wet, Brian.
All the tickets you could ever want for any of these events and more you can find at OVWTix.com. And now a word from our sponsor.
Hey, folks. Tiny Brian here. And, yes, we've been trying to rev up Bluegrass Homefront, but there's a lot going on here around Blimp Central, where we keep the big blimp.
Don't call it that.
What do we call it?
The Blimp Studios.
The Zeppelinary?
Not 100% opposed to that.
The Zeppelinary is a show on Sirius XM where they only play Led Zeppelin live.
That's what they call the Zeppelin only channel on Sirius.
No, just the live portion of the 24-hour Zeppelin channel, as Sirius is apt to do.
Actually, Zeppelinary just came right out of the back of my head right then. So
Well,
I
please
may
don't
have-
ever say that again.
no promises. Anyway, there's big things coming in the world of the day job that we all share. You guys know we're not really at liberty to talk about it, but the point is we've not had much time.
You're still going to pay me, right?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, not
Yeah,
me.
that information is classified until the check bounces, in which case, toot toot.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
then it's
yeah.
a whole different. It's the Ohio Valley Workers podcast, where we talk about misgrievances in the workplace. But go.
Yes,
I'm
but
sorry.
we'll
I'm
never
sorry.
get
I'm
there.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Lots
trying
going on. My point is, so that while we are actually working on season 2. It is going more slowly than I would like, but hopefully we will have an update for you soon. We have a lot to get to, so why don't we just get back to the OVW podcast already in progress?
Where fans talk back.
No, that's Wednesday.
Fuck.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot here, guys.
This is the OVW podcast. This is the night where we're the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Oh, right, because I didn't shave and I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
right. That is how you know the difference.
Yeah, so that
Right.
flies on Sundays because
Yes.
we're unofficial. But on
Perfect.
Wednesdays, no.
Perfect. It
But
is
that works
Sunday.
out good
Oh,
for you.
guys, we do need to mention something right here before we get into the episode,
Okay.
and that is what
BluegrassHomefront.com. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's what you were
No,
gonna
we
say.
just did that.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
That is what we did on Friday. Now, Jackman, you and I went to the Country Boy show. In fact, we have some pictures and some video, and
I was
we may show
actually
some of
at
that.
Magoffin County High School homecoming on Friday night, and
Wait, you're not Brian Hines.
one of my friends was there, Trey, and I got to see him have a really cool experience with. It seems like people really
Have
like
you
him out
exchanged
there.
bodies with some random student at McGoffin County High School?
No, I'm a 10th year senior.
Oh,
And it's just been
Someday
really
he's
hard.
gonna
That
figure out
biology credit is
just
and
can't figure out mitosis, huh?
the only mitosis I care about are in my shoes. Am I right?
Ching.
But no, I was lucky enough to go out there and see my friend Trey be a court king. That's what I was doing all weekend. What were you went to the Country Boy show, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit, we're reading the wrong part on the script. I'm sorry.
Oh, names are wrong. Okay,
Anyway.
that explains it. That explains it.
Wow, you guys, that's
I'm so
how the
sorry.
new Freaky Friday will work. Is we'll just there'll be a weird error in word when they write the script for the movie, and they'll switch bodies. Anyway, yes, we did go to the Country Boy show, Jackman and I. We may have a good portion of that to show you guys on Wednesday. I've got to actually talk to. If I can get someone at OVW to talk to me, I've got to get permission to show
Well,
it. But
they've all been let's.
they've been busy.
Sorry, I thought this was the Wednesday show. They have been busy. That's the correct answer. On the Wednesday show, I'd say, "Oh gosh, they're so hurt."
Anyway, but what happened before that show that we all participated in is the subject of this week's interview that will be out on Thursday morning.
Right.
So,
Who was it again? Some new up and comer guy. I can't really remember his name.
Yeah, and I think he's got a.
He's on some show,
He's on some
yeah.
other thing
he's
too.
exclusively on Paramount Plus.
On September 15th, the day we are recording.
I have in
this.
fact watched that very first episode of season 2 of Tulsa King. So just to be clear, our Thursday interview is with
And
the man himself, the
they were
OVW
like,
Heavyweight Champion.
Captain, we got all of
No,
the
I did not accidentally watch Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
This was Tulsa King.
Okay.
I did see Cash. It was a pretty
Really?
good
In the
episode.
first episode?
Yeah,
I'm
he's in
done
the first
bullshitting.
episode.
In the
Yeah,
first episode? That's
he's
awesome.
in the first episode.
That's amazing.
So apparently,
Did he
Wow.
speak?
Oh yes,
That's awesome.
and he's,
Super cool.
I can tell you, he's basically he's himself. They call him Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Cash flow Bigfoot.
As he mentioned in our interview.
He did.
Yes.
But they even say that he's just moved from Kentucky.
Oh.
So yeah, there's a video of most of what he does in the episode is online. You can actually see his introduction, but he's this. It's all of these. He's just kind of the good old boy, and I have a feeling that he's going to be a favorite for the Tulsa King fans, and they don't even know it yet. So I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
Fantastic
I'm so
news.
happy to
Hats
hear.
off to you, good sir.
That's like the only one we don't have where I live is the Paramount, but we will. I'm sure you and I will. No,
We will
forget that. We will all watch it together.
I definitely want
Yeah.
in on this.
It's a fun show. It's kind of Sopranos, but less depressing.
It's Sopranos for the people that are like, I like Tony because he's the boss.
Not to mention, there's a lot of medical marijuana or actually just rec marijuana that goes on as one of the businesses that they're getting into.
You mean marijuana, wreck marijuana, as in the first time you try marijuana, kids, it will wreck you and don't try it?
No, as in recreational marijuana, because that's what's legal in Oklahoma, I suppose.
Oh.
So there's
And
a lot
that's where
going on.
Tulsa is.
That is in fact where Tulsa is Oklahoma.
I thought it was in Wisconsin.
Hello, Wisconsin. Well, that's 70 show reference, folks.
I barely passed.
So anyway, Thursday morning early, look for our interview. It's very brief because he only had a couple minutes to talk to us, but we were lucky enough less than 24 hours after this episode of Roz, and we won't spoil anything just yet.
No.
But he did come to see us, and we were very happy to get to talk to him.
I am feeling kind of in a bullshitty mood on this unofficial Sunday night, but no bullshit, all bullshit aside, whichever way you want to look at it. Cash fitting us in his busy schedule
Means
What
the
an honor.
world, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about what we kind of talked about off mic. A year ago, the day he was here, Wrestlers
Came out.
dropped on Netflix. And none of us knew any of them, and they had no idea who we were, and we just kind of dropped it out of left field.
Nope.
Yeah, we had done like 3 episodes. I'd not reached out. We'd not done one interview. Nobody had been here yet. Cash,
I was still thinking about quitting every day. So that's where we were at.
Oh, yeah, those were much different times.
Oh, no, I still think about quitting every day. And then I convinced myself not to do it like Batman. Like, I have to protect the city.
You mean our warehouse manager?
No.
Oh.
That one's
We have a weird place we work. Batman works here, but
Batman, Jackman, and Jack and Chad and
a couple of Bryans.
2 Bryans. Yeah,
And
they
a
all
Victor.
work here.
Yeah.
Well, Victor, he doesn't really work here.
Oh,
His
come on.
name's on the building, but I mean, it's
And the shirts.
yeah, it's fun.
Anyway,
he doesn't
let's
really.
get into this week's episode of Rise. That's
He's
what
too,
everybody
he's
came
too
here
busy
for.
keeping that bald head, cue ball shiny, and then getting a wig fitted to it to do any work.
A
here.
hair system.
Yeah.
Okay. Rod, why don't you lead us off?
He gets his hair cut by the dude at the bowling alley that shines the balls.
The Ballo Shino?
That's how Victor's. That's how all of Victor's haircuts ends is a dude slapping a towel against the back of it.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Rod, help us.
Oh, let's see. As far as this episode, I mean, I want to talk more about what the live experience was like. I mean, you can go back and watch this on YouTube anytime you want now, but since they've come back to Davis Arena after homecoming, the vibe is definitely more energized.
Intense.
Absolutely.
I've never been in a crowd that went back and forth with itself like this one did. I mean, there are 2 very distinct sides, Team Revolution and Team OVW, and
And we've worked out the chant.
We did?
Well, yeah, because it was going Revolution OVW.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That was going.
Well,
like,
there were a couple of chants that.
We'll say those are the dominant ones.
No. The dominant chant
No.
Leather Daddy Doug.
Well, that would come later.
In more ways than one. That was the dominant chant of the night. I'm feeling loose. I had some
Apparently.
sugar. I ate today before I came in. I'm feeling good, guys. Feeling good. If I'd had a cup of coffee, you guys would be over with.
So, yes, we do start out with just a little flavor of that because we hear them all the chanting like immediately coming out of the main titles.
Mm-hmm.
That in reference to what you're talking about, we the opening, like the crowd are the first people to speak.
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
Really kind of like the past few weeks of experimentation on the, in most of the television, you would call it the cold open. Mm-hmm. But with and behind the opening credits of Rise here, really, really, really liking just the willingness to experiment with what the beginning of the show looks like. Because I think for a majority of the time that we've covered it, the show's more or less looked one of two ways. These past 3 weeks, you don't know what you're going to walk into at the beginning of these shows.
Yeah, that's true. There's an element of surprise and an element of danger right off the bat. Mm-hmm. You don't know. The only thing you can think of is they just kind of go about it Spanish Inquisition style. Expect the unexpected.
What is that? Is that what they say in the Monty Python?
Yeah, that's right.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
That was what I was looking for. Yeah, no one. I was like, it's so close, but that's not what they say.
Help! I'm being repressed. That's what they say in the Monty Python.
Oh, yeah, there's that too.
And, in 2024, if that doesn't have so many practical applications, I don't know what to tell you. Go ahead.
So, yeah, the crowd's yelling, and, you're right. We haven't seen the Rise theme since Homecoming. It's been the Revolution kind of taking over and the theme kind of evolving. This week we had the thing we premiered on OVW Fan Zone Live, the video from Jamin Olivencia, kind of the virtuoso, the creative force behind the Revolution, would you say? Because he is at the heart of a lot of these very powerful videos and packages that we see from them.
He's, especially in the video package context of Jamin Olivencia, he's almost like a Cyrano of the rest of the group. He is giving them like a very definite voice and a very definite viewpoint and a very definite feel inside of these video packages. So I don't think it's a coincidence that not only is he editing these things together, but that he's a part of the group. But for me, there does feel as if there's a little bit of like Pied Piper going on.
Happy warrior.
Yeah, with Jamin Olivencia right now.
And a warrior bard. I like that phrase because I'm a D&D nerd, as well as a Star Trek nerd. But yeah, he's just there. He can fight, and he will also make.
He's done all the calculations, Captain.
He really has.
He's the 11th warrior.
And I suppose there's only going to be 11.
On this planet, they only are supposed to have 10 warriors. Well, what's wrong? They found the 11th one. Thank you, Data.
Okay. So Doug comes out. And
see, you didn't correct me that time. I even said it wrong just to try to get with you.
I was waiting to see if you were going to say anything.
Yeah, this isn't. If this was a Star Trek
also,
podcast,
that is
I would.
negative points for you.
We have yet to hit back.
You're gonna start taking. That's actually what we should do back here on the unofficial shows. We should start taking Tiny Brian punishment.
Oh,
points.
while you were out of the room, we already noted that he forgot the Riot Fest listing and the tour dates, so he also received negative points for that.
And he also, and this is a multiplier. Every time he doesn't give Shaloncé that bottle.
Look, I haven't been able to find her after shows.
No, not an excuse.
Okay.
Not an excuse.
Anyway,
You
Won't
can
hear
hear
it.
her 2 counties over, for crying out
And
loud.
I won't hear any excuses.
all right. Well, we're 20 minutes in, and we have yet to talk about a single match.
We got an
So,
hour. We got an hour. Remember that one? I'll bring that one back.
All right, so Doug comes out. He says that we're going to have a J-Rod Shaloncé match tonight, and then he makes then Crixus comes out and drops the title because he's hurt. Very sad. Then he says the board of operations has said that Cash Flow must get the first shot at the title, so he sets a gauntlet match for Cash Flow at the end of the night. So that's our table setting with Doug.
Crixus, I ran into him at the Country Boy show, and all three of the following things are true. I'm a dumb mark. Crixus is really good at working, and Crixus is a really good guy, and we have a good relationship. All of those three things are true. He was sad in all of three of those respects. Was he working me sad? Yeah. Was he sad because he's a really good guy? Yeah. And was he okay to be sad in front of me because we know each other? Yeah. Like, this is no bullshit. We don't speculate on injuries, but you just hate to see it happen to Crixus.
Yeah.
Again.
You really do.
Again, yeah.
And especially in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. Such meteoric rise and then, kind of a sudden fall. But our thoughts, our prayers are with you, sir. And we're not sure how long this is going to be. We know he's still being evaluated, but it sucks. And you hate to see any story have to be driven this way. But here we are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was happy.
Yeah, I felt like it was necessary. We let our hair down here on this show, and we talk about injuries and we talk about our personal interactions with these people. And I've been fortunate enough to forge kind of a relationship with Crixus over the last year, and he just it wasn't the guy I'd talked to so many times when I talked to him on Friday night at Country Boy.
Well, I think he has a justifiable right to not maybe be himself in this moment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I mean, no criticism, but we have a lot of love for this guy. The community has a lot of love for this guy. This shit bothers him. I just want everybody to know.
It bothers all of us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So let's move away from how feeling bothered by talking about a little thing called Will Austin and Cal Hero. They're maybe going to forge a bond here. They're in the locker room, which, can I say, suddenly doing all the locker room things in the parking lot just delights me for some reason.
Touch.
It is
the smallest thing that you can do to set a story up, right, is change the location, make a little bit of new environment, and they've really rose to the level.
Yeah, every time I see the outdoor segments, I kind of feel like they're just out by the side of the road somewhere, and their car broke down, and now they're trying to figure out what they're going to do next. Like, should I call AAA, or do you think your mom's home, or just stuff like that.
Who is the person, if your car was to break down on the side of the road? Who is the person from the OVW roster that you would like to have with you the most?
Let's see. I wonder who's best with cars.
I think Cal Hero. I don't know that he's good with cars,
Cal
but I
Hero,
know he's a good kid, a good young man, and he's loyal and industrious, and I think he would be able to help.
I think if there's a youth group passing by and he flags them down, they'll pull over and that car will be fixed in a jiffy. I'm gonna go with first off, the obvious answer, Donovan, because he can lift the damn thing.
Yeah, that was my first thought,
or just
too.
carry you on to your destination.
He could push you fast enough to where, you could still pick up speed, and if you needed to pop the clutch, you could, I'm sure.
Second is Zachary D. Pittman IV, just for the jollies. That kid's hilarious. He's got so many jokes.
It's Zachary D.
No,
Pittman,
I refer to the non-kayfabe character as the fourth.
Ah, I see. Yes. Well, in that case, he does.
Yeah, he's got jokes. So I feel like whether it's getting you with the sup dog and like flicking you on the nose or whatever, he provide a good time.
We have now found ourselves in like social interactions with that person quite often, more so than most of the the OVW folks. Somehow.
And listen, Zach, next time you come by here and you think it's fine, you can just come in here and eat the food and play the video games and make fun of everybody and not do any content. That's still totally fine.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome.
You're
anytime.
welcome
Yeah,
to,
you're more
yeah.
than welcome anytime you want.
Speaking of, hopefully we hear about another Manchester show real soon.
I was
Getting to
hoping
be
there
about
would be
that time.
one, late October, early November.
I'll
Yeah,
bring my
so-
other set of parents that time.
Doug, get on that. Figure out who you got to talk to at
Just
the
call
Manchester.
Abby. The same way that
Yeah, there's that.
So,
I never got my colleague, my friend. Brian
oh
Hines.
yes, who is your AAA in the OVW, Brian?
Well, the one episode I missed because I was stranded by the side of the road and hung out in Penn Station until AAA picked me up. That guy, if I didn't know better, I would have swore was Jebediah Blackhawk because I bet
You've
that
told
guy
that
knows
you
about
told that
cars.
story
Yeah.
before, yeah.
Yeah.
So you think Jebediah would be a good choice to pick you to help you out?
I kind of, I feel like if I was broke down and he was with me, he would probably have a much better idea of what to do about things than I would.
Well, I have been up Hawk Collar, and there are potholes up there that will eat a car. So I have no doubt that our good friend Mr. Blackhawk can change a tire.
Now,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. Does Jebediah Blackhawk strike you as the type of fellow who he says, keep it running, rev it, shh, 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 rev it, shut it off, and then tells you exactly what's wrong with the car?
Yeah.
He's better than the computer, I'm sure.
Yeah. I feel like that's his skill set.
Yeah, that feels pretty accurate.
We need to get Jeb back here again sometime.
No,
soon.
anytime,
do.
anytime.
Yes. I mean, he did sort of show up surprised us the day he did come here.
Yeah.
But so to be clear, in this opening scene, Will Austin makes Cal ask him for help later on, and he's like, "I'm out for myself, but I guess I'll come help you for now," and we will see where that goes. So, Brian, why don't you take us into this our first actual bout here?
So the first match of the week was the 80s Baby TW3 and Carson Drake.
Yes, now he's in his.
The most successful man in wrestling?
That's what he says.
Something
It's
like
him.
that.
Yeah, it's him. It's me.
It's him.
Yes, it certainly is.
He's now taking his autumn residence in Pensacola, Florida. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did notice that. Yeah.
He's so smarmy, and it delights me.
Yeah. He was this the first time he's worn that green gear?
It's still Carson Grape, only now it's like sour green grapes.
No, it's not. We have to move on, man.
Carson Granny Apple.
Carson Grady Smith.
Yeah.
But no,
Oh, I
you're right.
forget. Yeah, that's what they're actually called. We call them Granny Apples where I was from. But yeah, Granny Smith apple.
Carson Crabapple.
You know, it is a little closer in color to crabapple.
Anyway,
Yeah.
always
I
fine.
almost got hit in the head by a walnut walking earlier today.
Did it just fall off the tree?
Yeah, it was right behind. I was like, man,
You were almost slightly injured.
yeah, it would have been the second worst concussion I ever had doing an episode of this podcast. Go ahead. That's what I say when I don't have any. When I say something very, very, very vulnerable and I don't have any pivot. So go ahead.
Someone on the phone. I feel like we've suddenly.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Can you hear me now?
Hi, this is Francis.
Can you hear me now? I'm begging for help.
All right,
Caller number
well,
2. Click.
Boo.
Wow. We're gonna need to get you guys some help. Apparently.
Oh no, that's gonna be a Wednesday night show. Is a couples therapist doing us as a couple?
Maybe we'll get Dr. Drew to come in.
Oh no, they'll have somebody on. They'll have a gimmick for that. By the time we do it, they'll have a gimmick for that. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So Carson gets the win here pretty handily and
Surprisingly so.
surprisingly.
Yes, I was surprised to see that. I fully expected TW3, but it was odd to see him in singles competition after being paired with Donovan week after week after week
For
and being
so
as
long.
successful as they've been.
For so long, immediate they kind of got clipped to be immediate tag team champs as soon as they got put together.
Yeah.
Recently lost it. Now we see them separated on a card. We see TW3 get handled. Lot to read into. Maybe we'll talk about it later. But maybe we just don't see TW3 around as much as we used to.
Well, the future remains to be seen. We'll just have to see what happens next week.
No, that's the...
Yeah. Can't do fingers crossed anymore. It means something.
I'll cross both my fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta
and
be
something
more mindful
totally
of
different.
that. All right.
I know these people, they take away everything I want to say and do.
All right, Jackman. Do you want to get us into bout 2?
Yeah, I'd love to, I suppose. This is a bout between one Angelica Risk and one Tiffany Nieves. Angelica Risk takes the victory here. Babyface showing from Angelica Risk. Big time resounding babyface showing from Angelica Risk here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiffany really kind of put her over in the most traditional sense of the phrase.
She was begging off the entire time, basically. Mm-hmm. And go for it. Like, if it leads into something, I think that Angelica Risk is a great utility player, or at least the way that she's been used in OVW right now. She's a great utility player where she can do baby one week and she can do heel the next, and people aren't really going to bat an eye. But I do think that there is a want from the audience to see more of her and to see more of her in the babyface role.
Yeah, she was very popular during this match. But, as talented as she is, that's just as big a testament to Tiffany Nieves being just as good at what she does. I mean, it was a fantastic match. The crowd was definitely behind Angelica, and, Tiffany being La Princesa, stormed out of the arena through the side door after the match.
So, yes, that one thing that was kind of evident on TV that wasn't really evident when we were there live is how disgusted Tiffany was at the notion of having to come in the side door.
Yes.
I thought she sold that pretty brilliantly, and that was an entertaining moment there. She was just really upset to have to come in that way.
Look, Tiffany in this character, La Princesa, a heel version of this character, like, it's been very, very nice to see. The character was always really, really tuned in, right? And she's gotten to be a better physical performer over that time. But somehow the character has also still been allowed to grow alongside her physical abilities. And, I think that she's, firing on all cylinders with this version of the character right now.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe with the apparent loss of Layla Gray, since we probably won't be seeing her for a while. Remains to be seen where we'll see Tiffany kind of land storyline wise. Wouldn't mind seeing a program between her and Angelica Risk.
I think it's there. I think that these two girls know each other. I think they wrestle each other a lot, not just at OVW. So I think it's all there, if that's the way they want to go for it. But I think that really the question is we know what Tiffany we're going to get week in and week out. Which Angelica Risk are we going to see week in and week out from now on?
It would be nice to see a more robust Angelica Risk character development.
Just a definitive Angelica Risk, because she's flip-flopped so much.
Yeah.
Give her a mic.
The tag team rumble is coming up pretty soon. Maybe that'll kind of add a different dimension to what's going on. Yeah,
it's here we were. It seems like such a short time ago. I'm sorry, guys, that we thought we knew everything, and over the course of the last year, every time we think we know something, we know nothing. So who knows what's going on? But you're right to look toward the Nightmare Cup as an event where we're going to be able to see a lot of progression and get a lot of ideas about where people are going to go and who's going to be aligned and where characters are going to go in the future.
And what new characters we haven't met yet.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's been a big shakeup over the course of the past 2 or 3 weeks.
Absolutely. We're 3 weeks back on regular television plus one pay-per-view. We've seen a boatload of new faces, especially in the women's division. And one of those new quote-unquote faces is the champion right now. So who knows what can happen in this division. OVW's women's division has always been a jewel on that crown, and I'm sure they're not looking to lose any of that momentum anytime soon.
Absolutely not. No.
And one more thing, we did see Tiffany try to take a shot at Angelica after the match, and Angelica pretty smoothly deflected that. I think it really just kind of sells the competent babyface angle that they seem to be moving her towards. And Jackman?
No, I agree.
So let's talk about this sketch here. We got Shannon the Dude with Adam Revolver. What's he look like, Brian? Show the camera.
Malachi,
Malachi,
I know we don't do this on this show. But you got to give Brian his camera.
Give him his camera.
Brian's camera on this show.
Hang on.
That's how we get around it.
You're on the
Which one?
You're on.
Right
this
here.
One.
Looks like
Human
a thumb.
Adam Revolver.
That's
Looks
right.
like a thumb.
It's our greatest
You
thing
caught-
we came up with in
You
this
caught
show.
me sleeping. Ordinarily, I draw the face on there where he looks all mad and his brows are all furrowed and he's all. But no, sorry.
So, what do you think about Adam Revolver being like, I'm done with groups? We have described him as sort of the faction orphan here on this program. Because
Yes.
he was in the faction, then he was in the Overmen, was the faction called something before it was the faction? Like, he seemed to be grouped up in things for a while.
They were. I don't even remember what they were called.
Yeah, I think it's probably for the best. You know, just do your own thing because you're good at that.
And Adam is a incredibly smart, incredibly proficient performer. You can stick him anywhere. I hesitate to ever say that he's going to be like the biggest babyface to ever come out of OVW. But like,
I don't think he has that in him.
But-
I mean, I like Adam and all.
I also don't think he wants to.
No, that's the reason why I don't
No.
think he has it in him.
I think that Adam Revolver, the character, is everything Adam Revolver, the person, wants it to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, you can stick him in with any up-and-coming babyface, any established babyface, any heel that's just become a babyface, because Adam Revolver is really good at this little thing called professional wrestling, and he deserves all of his credit for that. Now, where we see him tonight is issuing an open challenge.
He's been doing this for weeks now. Let's give him his flowers.
But where we see him in this instance is he's issuing an open challenge, and who other than a returning Tony Bizzo answers this challenge.
Guys, what do you guys know about Tony Bizzo?
When I was going to see a lot of OVW in post-pandemic, around the time that Wrestlers was being, prior to and around the time that Wrestlers was being recorded, saw a lot of Tony Bizzo. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that I remember Tony Bizzo like matches, but I remember the Tony Bizzo character very, very well. And I think he came to reestablish himself when he showed up here against Adam Revolver.
Sure. So, Brian, I know you and I didn't really watch a lot of OVW prior to starting this podcast.
No, this is my first my first view of Tony Bizzo.
So he didn't come to a Spot Monkey or any of the other. I know you go to a lot of indie shows. I
Not
thought
that I'm aware of. No.
So, what was your first impression?
Solid guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Good in ring.
Made a good impression.
Good interaction in the video package, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
I'll be honest. I haven't seen him since he left OVW. Now that he's back, it's a different guy than the one I saw a few years ago.
Maybe we should try to watch a Bizzo match. Sometime soon.
He's a different cat now than he was a few years ago.
All right, Brian, you want to take us into Bout 3?
Let's see, Bout 3. Actually, that's the one that's on here right now. That is Beaches and Cream with Crystal White.
Adam Revolver took the victory, we should say.
We haven't gotten to that match. That was just the vignette before the match.
Oh, sorry.
We'll get to that. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll
We're
get there.
already there. Adam Revolver took the victory. We'll skip it.
Yeah. versus Dysfunction. Kyle Roberts and Brandon Espinoza. We haven't seen Dysfunction back at OVW since Homecoming, and it was a little bit before the renovations since we had seen them. But it's always good to have them in the house. And the first thing I want to say about this is, how long do you think bringing whipped cream to ringside is going to fly?
Well, until there are flies, I would imagine.
Not a bad observation there. Until Joe
puts his foot down?
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
By
Until
puts
Joe
his
says
foot
something.
down, puts his foot up somebody's behind.
Puts his foot up someone's fruit booty.
They were pretty. They didn't make a big mess during this time. They didn't
No, but
have
there were strong feelings one way or another the couple of times they've done this, which I saw this past Thursday and at Fight Night in Pikeville. People were really either all about it or they just weren't. So I was just kind of curious as to what you guys thought.
I'm just saying, boil that before you eat it. Boil that whipped cream before you eat it.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
boiled whipped cream is
milk.
yeah.
Like sweet milk.
It's going to be better for you than if Beach. Listen, I love Luscious. I love Omar. Love you guys. You
But we don't know
You just
where
got
the
to be.
tip of
You
that
just
whipped
got to
cream
be
has been.
careful with these two gentlemen. Just got to be careful. Make sure you see them take the protective cover off of the whipped cream. That's all.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
All right,
that's what I would say.
That's solid.
All right. So yeah, that's not the. Who knows where that nozzle would have been? Otherwise.
I don't care to know.
Yeah. So Beaches and Cream do take the win pretty quickly here.
Yeah.
The Dysfunction always seems to be on the edge of a big push, but they never quite seem to get that push.
Here's the thing about Dysfunction, is the entrance gets it. Everybody loves it. It makes a statement. It makes a huge statement in the ring.
Yeah.
It makes a huge statement at Davis Arena. I don't know if it translates as well on television. We can always make the argument of what works live versus what works on television. But in the arena, whether they're coming through the side door, whether they're coming straight down the ramp, the entrance music, the Titan for Dysfunction works huge. It just doesn't seem like they get a lot of traction at OVW.
Yeah, I know. But, with the Nightmare Cup coming up, maybe this will be a chance to...
Oh, what a place for them.
Yeah.
Yes, what a place. I almost knocked my headphones off. I got so excited.
It's the most wonderful time of the year as far as that goes.
What a place for them to make. They don't necessarily even have to win. They just have to make a statement.
Yeah.
Like Kentucky and Georgia yesterday.
Yeah, golly, we gave those boys hell, didn't we?
For 3 whole quarters. If only the game had ended in 3. Anyway. So Beaches and Cream, after they get the win, they proceed to call out.
I didn't pay attention to the game. I was like, maybe I'll listen to the game. I'll watch the game today. And I saw Georgia on the schedule. I said, never mind, I'm going back to bed.
It was anyway. After the match, Beaches and Cream call out the Revolution. They apparently don't like the Revolution. No, nobody likes the Revolution. It seems to be the going.
Nobody likes the revolution. Oh no. Well, please don't
we'll have to
strike
pay
this
for it.
episode.
Yeah. So.
You say I want Crixus back.
Okay.
Oh, well,
Are you okay?
No.
Okay.
Never.
All right. Well, this.
I'm just glad EC3's not there. Oh well,
So the Revolution comes out. The tag team in this case, AJC and Dalton McKenzie and Doug comes out, and they set a tag team championship match, presumably this Thursday.
I would say so, yeah. I would say that this will be one of the big contention points moving toward the Nightmare Cup.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
All right, so Jackman, you want to take us into Bout 4?
Yes, this is the Hour 1 main event.
It certainly is.
Between J-Rod and Shaloncé Royal, accompanied by a baby-faced PJ Jones this time.
I just want to say...
Let's start there.
The lighting
Oh, yeah, we've not even really talked about the lighting
We
yet.
haven't.
And
But
you're
at
right.
this point, especially at the end of hour 1, take note of the lighting during Eric Cornish's introduction to this match, because it really is next level. It's something that the OVW fans haven't gotten a chance to see just yet. And I feel like it really adds another layer of depth to seeing this at home and in person as well.
I really, really, really loved it, especially on the rewatch. Feeling it there in person, you could tell it even got temperature-wise cooler.
Yes.
So like all of your bodily functions, all of your five senses were, well, 4 of your 5 senses were like, oh, this is different, this is new. Whenever you rewatch it, oh my gosh, the presentation is amazing.
So much better.
Yeah. And what a great time to use it here between these two girls, title fight, main event.
Really helps sell the big moment
Yes.
of it.
Yes. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we saw, some really big-time matches, 2 title matches, main event, both of these hours. And we saw these lights kind of bookending those as well.
So in the arena, you really got to come to the arena to really see just how great this all is. When we would have a promo, when they would have a video up, all the house lights would go down, and it would just draw the attention into the video so much more directly. Just all of it is just, it's just so good, the new lighting effects.
So I feel like I should say this here, and I have to legally. PJ Jones, let me know. Say this here. Thank you, PJ. Not trying to get sued any further than you already are trying to sue me. But I got a lot of flack early on in this podcast for saying I think that gimmick holds her back in reference to Shaloncé.
That's right.
She, in this match, was all business. Did not sing in her intro, did not sing on her way to the ring, did not sing in the ring, no gaga, no bullshit, all 100% badass Shaloncé, and I am so here for this version of Shaloncé if we continue to see it.
It was all sizzle, no fizzle.
Loved
She
it.
looked great, and her ring gear looked great. One thing I noticed
gold,
when
right?
Yes. Golden black,
when
yeah.
she came over the barricade, I noticed how bright and gold her boots are, and they really sparkled during this match with coming off the new lighting effects and stuff like that.
Well,
but,
and it's not just that. It's Shaloncé. This is
oh
a
yeah,
different
she
Shaloncé.
she was hungry. She
She hit
wanted
another
this.
gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that her gear looks amazing. It's
It
not that
did.
she looks amazing in her gear. It's not that she's amazingly talented. It's not that she's a great wrestler. It's not that she's a great singer. It's that she's great, period. She's great, period. And this match showed every single teaspoon of Shaloncé's intensity and her in-ring talent and what she can do whenever she's turned into that next gear, as you guys had said. However, Brian Hines,
That injury, that shoulder, it just wasn't healed, and that started to bother her early. And once, J-Rod got a hold of that, that was really the beginning of the end. Although in the very beginning of this match, Shaloncé looked great. She was quick.
My goodness.
J-Rod would try to lunge at her to do a collar and elbow lockup and just could not catch
The
her.
tightest rolls that I've ever seen in a wrestling match is Shaloncé evading J-Rod. Like, literally the tightest, quickest across-the-mat rolls I've ever seen in a wrestling match. Loved it.
Yeah.
And let's give the OVW Women's Champion her due. She was no slouch in this match either.
No. This is a Shaloncé worship party. We don't like J-Rod around here. Unless she's coming to talk to us. Is she coming to talk to us?
If we, talk bad about her, we're probably lowering the
Oh,
chances.
well, I love J-Rod so much during this.
But legally speaking, we have to talk about how wonderful Shaloncé is and how much she's grown as an in-ring performer and musician, and
was so over with the crowd.
and was so very over with the crowd.
And Shaloncé is more than welcome to join us anytime she wants. And J-Rod, you should come by too.
Yeah, come talk to us.
Sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
I'm sure it'll be great. You won't. You're no Shaloncé, Listen to
We've
that
interviewed
interview.
other members of the Revolution, and it's been fine.
No, listen
It's
to that
worked out
interview with
well.
Shaloncé. It was amazing. J-Rod, you got a lot to live up to. I know you tapped her out on this evening.
Let's
but
talk about that standing submission move of hers, because
So
that's the
strong.
second time we've seen it.
So strong.
a-
Makes her look like a Greek statue.
Brian, have you seen a woman with a standing submission like that before in your vast wrestling?
No, I really haven't. There are, I mean, a lot of good submission moves out there, and this isn't one that I've really seen a whole lot of female performers go for.
It's kind of an old school thing. It's a
Trying to
very
fast forward so I can get a better look at it.
It's a very like old school. It's just a power. I mean, it's a power move. I'm bigger than you. You're smaller than me. I've got you right in the middle of the ring, and I'm going to mess you up until you do what I tell you to do. It's with J-Rod's physique, J-Rod's presence, really, really great finisher for her.
Absolutely, just overpowering. Do you think she could lock it in on Freya the Slayer?
That would be the story, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we won't probably see them for a little bit, is because we really need to get that standing finisher, that standing submission, standing armbar from J-Rod over.
No, I've never seen that.
But the story, when it finally happens between Freya and J-Rod, will be, we're just as big as each other. Let's beat the shit out of each other, and you can't get me in your finisher, but I can get you in mine. And it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great time.
You can't tell. You don't ask me which voice was which. That's just going to be the story.
I don't think either one of those were either of those. None of that sounded Alaskan to me.
No.
They do have their own little patter up there.
They certainly do. So let's get into hour 2 here, Brian. Take us into bout 5, if you would, please.
So the opening match from hour 2 is Adam Revolver, accompanied with Shannon the Dude, in his open challenge match against Tony Bizzo.
The complete package.
We already covered this. Tony Bizzo wins. Go on. We only got an hour.
But we've still got an hour.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anything else we do want to say about this in all seriousness?
No, Adam Revolver's great. Tony Bizzo, great to see you back. Adam Revolver is always going to be the whetstone on which either new people or returning people are cut on, and we saw it yet again here.
That's a pretty good way to put it. Bizzo looked great, though, by the way.
Yeah, really.
He really did. Strong
better-
match from Bizzo.
Better than I ever saw him. I want to repeat that. Better than I ever saw him before.
Seems like I had something I wanted to say about Shannon, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'm sure it'll come back up later, though.
Do we think Shannon might leave Adam to join the Revolution so he can get in a locker?
Well, it's going to get cold soon, so maybe I'm sure that...
Oh, wouldn't that be some shit if they were out there all
And
winter?
it snows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like 6-inch or 6 foot piles of snow, like herded up and over into quarters. Like that would be some real shit.
That
We
would
come
be
to-
something that I would do if we had snowdrifts that size. I would try to make a room out of it. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
See, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
We go to the Nightmare Rumble, and it's just the frozen tundra, like a village of tents where the OVW locker room is trying to stay warm before the matches.
It's like a much less luxurious Olympic Village.
Much. It's more like Fire Festival.
And depending on who's staying there, same amount of never mind.
All right.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right.
All right.
I had
so,
food and sugar tonight, baby. Let's do it.
So this
I have
sketch,
the eating habits of a child. If
Really?
you guys haven't put it together, if I have a little too much sugar, I get rambunctious.
you rambunctious is probably a good way of describing you this evening. Let's speaking of rambunctious, the women of the OVW are all trying to get dressed, and there's only one tiny mirror. And I just thought this was a hilarious little moment.
I will give all of the credit to the chemistry of these women during the sketch.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Oh, they did a great job. I'm sure that some of that was already kind of thought out beforehand, but most of that was all on the spot. and it worked, man. It was so great. Who do you think was responsible for the pee smell?
It is the mystery of the week.
Yeah.
Mick Foley, the same person who attacked Mick Foley, actually.
Uh,
Because we still don't know who did that either.
if you find
Yeah.
the random peer, you find a big.
There was an episode of King of the Hill where they had he kept talking about it was the bad smelling man that burned down the church.
Yeah.
It's the guy that smells like pee that beat up Mick Foley.
I'm going to
in the
be
parking lot.
honest. If the parking lot smelled like pee, it was Hollywood. She didn't have no problem going out there right in the middle of God and everybody. Like, we'll be honest. Like, it was definitely her, right? Like,
That's very true.
yeah, she ain't got no problem. She doesn't show no airs, as they say.
No.
So Tiffany ended up with the mirror. My I mentioned it just to bring up Holly, my favorite line from Hollywood, Haley J, when Tiffany walks away with the mirror and Haley's like, "You'll break it."
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And I'm like, ah.
No, again, as to end the conversation the way that I started it, at least, all the credit to the chemistry of these women in the sketch.
They've got such a good working chemistry.
Yeah.
This troupe of women who form the core of the women's division.
Oh, it's like women are funny if you let them be. Who knew?
Who'd have thunk?
Who would have thought that?
So there's no way to real transition. Buzz Backlund comes to the ring.
This was an odd segment.
From the women to someone who will never and has never touched one, Buzz Backlund.
I don't know if that's true. Maybe not yet.
The first one he touches will be the one he marries, and the only one he touches. Is that more fair?
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Maybe not. Anyway,
Divorce
Buzz,
is not the American standard, although people are trying to convince you it is.
So Buzz Backlund comes to the ring the way he came to his interview that he did with us. In the suspenders and the bow tie and looking like what I remember like a classic ref who doesn't wear the suit, who doesn't wear the stripes look.
That's a good call, actually. Like an old school boxing ref.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's just mad at the Revolution, just sort of, basically he came out so he could be interrupted by Doug, who just is an old school bully.
Well, this is when Cal's asking for help from Will, and Will kind of responds.
Yes, this is where that pays off as well.
And so like let's break this down from the top. What was the most jarring thing about this entire segment to you, Brian Hines?
In the moment, Buzz Backlund getting beat down by the entire Revolution.
Buzz Backlund getting picked up by his trousers and thrown around was the thing here.
Yeah.
Cal Hero and Will coming out. Will kind of begging off, or not exactly begging off, just saying, you got it. Was really, really great. I mentioned, I don't think on this show, but on our Wednesday night show, OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back, that Will is going to have to continue, if he's going to be a babyface, he still needs to admit himself as one. It appears as if he has no interest in being one.
It certainly does.
And thirdly, of in this conversation, best match I've seen Jamal and Vincia have since he came back. Maybe the best match I've seen Cal Hero have 1-to-1 on a Thursday.
Yeah, I was really proud of both of these guys after seeing that match. I mean, that was as fired up as we've ever seen Cal. He was, above and beyond his game, as well as Jamin Olivencia. It was, phenomenal.
So one thing that I noticed, what's in Coming to America, the name of the spray, the Jerry Curl spray?
Soul Glow.
Yeah, that's all. I thought that's what it was, but that's also the name of like a black hardcore punk band, and I was like, I can't remember if they're actually. Anyway, the first flurries between Jamin Olivencia and Cal Hero were a Soul Glow commercial. There was so much excess moisture coming off the two of them as they're trading punches. Like, it was for me personally sitting there watching it with our friend Matthew. Hi, Matthew.
Hey, Matthew.
Sitting there watching it, seeing all the moisture, like, you could just tell, like, the two of them. It was two bulls locking horns.
Yeah,
it was incredible. These two guys came to play. And they came to play all night. Like, loved it. Cannot wait to possibly see more between them. Possibly see Cal go somewhere else inside of the undercard or, upper card title divisions. I don't know what's going to happen, but I want to see more Jamin Olivencia with anybody.
Yeah. So that was a treat.
I found it interesting that they have now, by the end of this, because we know that Will kind of hangs around, ends up kind of saving Jamin, and ends up leaving with the Revolution, which I think, aside from filling a hole in the Revolution roster with Crixus gone, also helps. It's now integrated the Will versus Buzz Backlund storyline into the Revolution storyline.
That's actually what I was going to say. Is I never saw that as much, and you might disagree with me. I never saw that as much as Will joining the Revolution, so much as it was Will still having a lot of heat with Buzz Backlund.
Well, here's a point to consider. I saw something on Facebook that led me to believe that Buzz Backlund might be taking some time away to focus on some other things.
Okay. So
I hope
that's
that
the
is,
type of stuff we talk about here
I hope
on this
that
show.
is not the case, but if it is, we'll see you again soon. And it was wonderful for you to stop by and spend some time with us.
Well, and we'll catch up on that.
We'll catch up on that.
Mike.
Yeah.
But
Do go listen to that interview with him, with our interview with Buzz Backlund if you haven't heard it yet.
Well,
It's a
me
pretty
knowing
great interview.
it is a great interview. He was white on rice with us. I mean, he was great. He was amazing with us. But the thing I will say here, though, without seeing the post, I can kind of get a gauge of where you're at based on your voice and your reaction to things. So maybe not the best situation, it sounds like.
Don't know.
Without having seen it myself.
Don't know.
But
We'll try to clarify this.
Will is Buzz is a special cat. And no matter where he goes or where he finds himself, if wrestling is something he wants to do, anybody would be very, very proud to have him.
So, yeah, Will is at best ambiguous, I guess. But at worst, he's going to be with the Revolution from now on, I guess.
Will's out for Will Austin.
Will's
period.
much like me. He's rambunctious.
All right. So,
Let me manage Will Austin. I'm bringing that back now.
let's go ahead and get into our main event, which is the Gauntlet, has Cash Flow
And what a main event it was.
taking on 3 members of the Revolution. For the record, we will say that was AJZ, followed by Tony Gunn, followed by Dalton McKenzie.
Donovan Cecil joined the...
No.
No.
The other big guy from Ohio.
They should have gotten him. Anyway, what can we say here?
I mean, it was an incredible 30 minutes because when it came out, I do the thing now where I start checking my watch to kind of see, there's probably not another match. It's 8:30. This is going to be a thing.
Well, and that's why all the future of wrestling is on streaming, but we can have that conversation on a different day. But, yeah, this was, to speak to your point, one of those ordeals where you look at yourself and you say, they have 30 minutes set out for the main event of Hour 2.
Yeah.
We're about to get into it.
And we sure did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was as hard fought a match as I think we've seen in our first year in covering the OVW. I mean, can you think of anybody who had to, outside of Rumble
Hero.
matches, and yeah, that was
Outside of literally Cal Hero.
that's why I was starting to preface that statement.
Oh, I knew, but I
Outside
was
of
like, I'm
that,
just gonna cut you off.
Do you can you think of anybody else who faced this many people in a situation like this?
Who was set as in harrowing of a position? Is this? No, I can't.
No.
And let's not forget, gentlemen, that he's been in Atlanta since the springtime.
And if you
Yes.
if as this interview drops, if you have a Paramount Plus account, you can watch Tulsa King season 2 exclusively on Paramount Plus, starring Mike Cashflow Flow.
Walden, but yes.
Yeah, Mike
His
Cashflow.
name in the show is Michael
Bigfoot.
too. By the way, they call him Bigfoot, but they literally say his name is Michael from Kentucky. So I'm like,
Cash Michael Walden Flow. You can find him on Tulsa King season 2.
so
Bigfoot-tucky.
Bigfoot. Someone we got to get that website.
I don't. There's a lot of consonants there and a lot of vowels that just sound dirty whenever you say it.
That's why we got to get it. So another thing to note about this particular match is once AJZ and then Tony Gunn were eliminated, they didn't go away. They would just sort of be around
They
and
still held.
occasionally
Yeah,
hit and spot and
I thought the fix was in big time here. We should also point out that AJZ spent a majority of his time on camera this evening, at the evening that this was recorded, rather, 1309. He got busted. His lip was bleeding the whole night.
Yeah,
inside of
early.
his mouth was bleeding early. Yeah.
Yeah.
all that biting he was doing.
Can I? I'll say it here because we're unofficial. I did overhear something to the effect of Doug Basham telling Dalton McKenzie to go get him tissue, and he was like, "You want me to give him to him now?" And Doug was like, "Yeah, you're his partner."
Oh God, you did not.
I was like, this is actually why I love wrestling, is having a really weird, like, broken ear that hears highs and lows in a really weird space.
And it's so tight there that, yeah, you can occasionally. We failed to mention that when Crixus came out, somebody said, and you can hear it on the video
I
if you're
heard it.
listening. Somebody says, "Those are nice shit kickers."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you could hear it loud and clear in the audience too.
Yeah, that was not me. A lot of times you can maybe hear me if you're listening for me. I am what they call loud, but that was not me.
Well, two things. It was not that they were yelling at each other that I managed to overhear this. It was just a random. Acoustics are weird.
It was one of those awkward times when there was a lull in the crowd noise, and you just happened to catch that exchange.
Dude, and I really do have, like, very, very weird highs and lows in my ear. Like, I have my ears are beat up and blown out.
And
But the other part of that is they were some nice shit kickers. So
Yeah.
I agree with the audience.
Yeah,
member.
there's that.
Yeah.
while we're here talking about this moment, can I just say that now having a chance to spend some time with Leather Daddy Doug, that he is a delight to watch work. Like, just around the ringside, kind of being the ring general and get in there and pointing and yelling and everything. He is, love him or hate him for what he's doing, he is fun to watch.
Leather cartoon supervillainy at its finest.
You know, he really needs a moustache he can twirl.
That's maybe he can.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Maybe he can borrow Jack Vaughn's.
Or
occasionally.
Danny can come back, and he could grow the mustache, and then there's like a Scooby-Doo villain, like, twins twist, you know, where it's actually been Danny Basham the whole time, and Doug Basham's been, like, locked up in a storage closet.
I see. Hey, we can make that work. I've got an assortment of fake mustaches in the other room.
Hey, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Well, yeah. Just ask.
So what an incredible match.
I'm just saying, I think there's legs on that. Everyone says, "Oh, I want to see Doug versus Al. I want to see Danny versus Doug." That's what I want. Doug and Danny
Okay.
Basham, 1v1.
I want to see Jack Vaughn's mustache versus evil twin Doug Basham mustache.
we can that can be a good angle. I mostly just want to see Doug and Danny Basham so that Jim Cornette will actually come to an OVW event ever again. He would probably have a coronary if if Doug and Danny Basham wrestled at Davis Arena one more time, and then Eugene came in.
Anyway,
that's what it'd be like.
All right, so yeah, an incredible match. Cash Flow apparently not missed a step, not gotten one bit dusty because damn.
And it is
What a
dusty in
match.
Tulsa.
It is dull. It's also dusty in Atlanta. There's that red clay. It gets a little risy in the
Wait, they
summertime.
didn't shoot it in
Like
Tulsa?
the desert allergens?
It's
The desert
a,
pollen.
It's a show based in Tulsa. They didn't shoot it in Tulsa.
Yeah, Justified was based here in Lexington. They didn't really shoot it here.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Justified is they're like, we're out Tate's Creek Road, and it's a fucking cornfield.
And it's a bridge.
Yeah.
They
it's
stop at a bridge on Tate's Creek Road.
It's literally the bridge, the only way in and out of where I grew up. And but they're like, this is Tate's Creek Road, and I'm like, I don't see the Walmart.
For those of you squares that aren't from Kentucky, the things that they are describing are locational inaccuracies that people who live here like to point out because
We do.
the Hollywood types don't know what they're doing or talking about.
For you, this would be like, I'm in Ripley. I can't wait to see you in 45 minutes in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, instead of complaining about Justified, why don't we get out of here?
oh, I'm not complaining about Justified now.
No, but my back teeth are floating, so wrap it up.
Okay, take us out of here then, Mr. Hans.
Is that a urine joke?
No, you're in trouble. The OVW Podcast, the 10th Carney Award nominated unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling, is produced by Black Light Moon Productions at Nuthouse Studios in Lexington, Kentucky. The OVW Podcast broadcast team is my friend and colleague Jack Oaks and myself, Brian Hines. Our studio engineer and editor is Malachi. Producing stuff Woodard. Executive producer is Tiny Brian K. Woodard. Senior producer for The Blimp is Victor Anderson. On Wednesday night, catch the OVW Podcast team as we host the OVW Fan Zone and OVW Fan Talk Show on the OVW Video Networks, where fans talk back. After watching Wrestlers on Netflix, which came out a year ago, visit OVWpodcast.com/podcasters.
For what it's worth, the 10th Carney Awards were like a year ago, too.
Yeah, and
Maybe we'll change this at some point.
It's good. It's good back roll.
I'm going to go ahead and say that
Brian's editing it in real time.
in real time, the statute of limitations has expired, so we have unofficially won the 10th annual Carney Award.
It's an endurance competition, and we win it.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no,
an
no.
Iron Man.
I've said this.
It's a
since-
gauntlet match, and
I've
we
said
win.
this since day one. No one else showed up. We had a ref. 1, 2, 3. We won the damn thing.
Yeah. So there we
Get
go.
us, finish it up, Hans, so we can
All
go home.
right. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, rate us 5 stars, and give us a review. We would really appreciate it. Please and thank you in
It
advance.
means a lot. It means a lot.
You can also follow us at OVW Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, Threads, and all the way to Davis Arena.
Love you guys.
We'll try to find the rails next week.